Riders ready, watch the gate.
We're back. Welcome back, Late to the Gate podcast. Hopefully, no technical issues this week. We've had a bit of time between getting recording, and we've unplugged things and plugged them back in, and we've changed rooms, and I think we're all ready to go.
It's my fault, innit, again, but I'm organised.
Well, your internet's a lot better by the looks of it, and I don't think we're going to talk over each other.
Good. That's what we want. That's what the people want.
How's everyone been?
Yeah, riding a bit more, me.
Well, there's a lot going on. It's kind of it's hitting the summer in the Northern Hemisphere, and all the races are all happening at any one point in time. I was just looking at the calendar, and it's this week, next week, week after, multiple continents, multiple races.
I've not got a weekend off all of June. I think I've got like 6 weeks back to back, just regionals and nationals. It's carnage, but I get faster for that.
Yeah, well, and we can talk about Manchester, and one of your predictions came true, but one of the days wasn't too bad.
Yeah, I'll take a second. Granted, there was a few people missing, a few fast ones, but second's a second, isn't it?
Can only races on the gate.
Exactly. Yeah, we'll see how Gosport goes.
All right, well, let's start the usual way and see what support we've had since the last episode, because I always appreciate anyone taking the time out to say a comment or share or slide into the DMs. So Spotify was quiet. I don't know what's happened to Kev Brown. He's missing in action. No comments from him. I think he's too busy doing his holidays and thinking about where he's going to live. But YouTube had some, and I always appreciate a Michael Bias comment. And we talked about you two going to France to see a French Cup. His view was 100% do it, you'll enjoy it, it's one of the best races to go to, and I think we're going to see some of that vibe carry through to Sarians this weekend.
I can't wait for that. We're definitely going to do it.
Yeah, we'll do something there where it fits in with all the calendars. I think it's I think he's probably the biggest advocate for it, isn't he? He's changed continents to be a part of that scene, and
suits him.
Yeah. He's going
deep and deep.
And I look forward to seeing this weekend, see how he gets on at Sarians.
We should probably do a bias segment at some point, because and I know he was on Rich Eames' podcast probably talking about his journey and the fact that he's invested in himself and put himself into France and learnt the language, because with the intent of making him a better rider and giving him more opportunities. But he's been in the game quite a long time. I was looking at the entries list for Sarians and the dates of birth, and he's one of the old guard now. And I really like him, and hopefully you won't mind me saying this. He's always close, but never quite there. Things happen, and I feel that he should make it through. And he has absolutely got the ability to, if the luck goes his way.
He's one of them riders that you like to watch, don't you? You just know he's not a boring rider. Like, it's something in his race is going to happen. He's either going to pull a move or do some crazy line or just get unlucky. But yeah,
he just seems to be always on the bubble. That was the thing, isn't it? Like, you're in trouble if you're on the bubble all the time. If you're in like seconds, thirds, first, you're always, you're okay. But he seems to be on the bubble. But then he broke through. He made some mains last year. So yeah, I'd love to see it. I think
could
BMXers,
be a good bet for Sarians.
Yeah, BMXers want to see people like Michael Bias, because he's like pump track laps and the kind of like the skills that he shows, and I think he's a good ambassador for the sport. They want to see him do well. So yeah, should be a good show. Should be a really good show.
So we'll get on to that. So I appreciate his comments on YouTube. In Instagram, so we had a few clarifications from the last episode. We were speculating as to what Terry's bike was, and he confirmed it was a Speedwagon. So we knew it was a S&M race bike, and we were also really complimentary of his seat post height. It turns out that there's zero choice in that because it's seized. I think one of his friends dobbed him in.
Stitched him up there, didn't he?
Yeah.
Josh was in the DMs. He promises to photograph his bike drive side future. Booter was.
This is a Stay Strong kid.
Yeah, but he's definitely gonna turn that the right way around. We had Dan Clifford on the comments. He was talking about BMX Talk, and he was embarrassed at what he used to say on that forum. I think we all were. Apparently, and I forgot about this, this must have been before my time, but he said that him and Ellie had rap battles on BMX Talk. I don't know if you two remember that.
No. But what I was actually thinking about the other day, there was a main forum, and then there was a shit talk forum, I think. And I think maybe it was in there. And I'd forgotten about that because I don't know when it shut down. It must be 15 years ago.
That's
More
a
than
name
that,
from the
20
past,
years
isn't it?
ago.
Old Dan Clifford. Oh, what a legend.
Yeah,
I went,
talking about expats, Dex, you know.
Yeah, well, he's baking bread in some continent. I don't know where he is now.
well, he was in Brazil, but is he in America now? I don't know.
He's in Canada.
actually.
Yeah,
Canada.
I think he's in like BC, Vancouver, something like that.
We did. I don't know if you went to his leaving party, Booter. Sorry, we're getting off
Of
topic.
course I did. Yes,
Yeah.
we stayed in a hotel up there. Yeah,
What was it? We got got DQ'd.
that was DQ. Yeah, the club in Sheffield, and what was it called? Something Green, Devonshire Green. That's the.
I've been there because I lived in Sheffield for a year.
Did you?
I remember
well,
that pub,
we all met in the Forum. I've not forgotten these, and he must have had about 50 BMXers come out from all around the country.
Great night.
That was great. Oh, that was amazing. I forgot about that.
It's a great city, Sheffield. It used to be really wild. I don't think it is now, but this is well off topic. But at university time, they used to do a thing called pajama jump once a year. And the university and the Polytechnic, which is now Sheffield Hallam University, they'd all club together and they'd buy every nightclub for the night. And then they'd sell tickets through the student union, and everyone in the whole town that was a student would be out, and men would dress as women would dress as men, and it was the wildest night I've ever been out in my life. And I think there's been probably some really bad injuries over the years because they had this roundabout that they called the hole in the road, and it was a roundabout, and you could look down in kind of where all these subways converged, and everyone could walk under it. And I'm sure people had tried to jump into that thinking it was a swimming pool one year.
No.
I think it's banned now. I've quizzed a few people. I don't think pajama jump's a thing, but Sheffield definitely had a reputation for being a wild place, and at the time had the strongest beer in the world, brewed at a pub called the Frog and Parrot, which was Roger and Out, which was a 16% beer, which is being completely surpassed by all the modern breweries. But that was also a thing that they would only sell you in thirds of a pint as well. So a bit of a Sheffield story.
Sounds a great.
Yeah, we went
Great
off
place.
of it then, didn't we?
Yeah, good
Well,
place.
yeah. Shout out to DC and the after party, and then everyone rode bowl wheels the next day.
Man.
So that was great. You know, getting that many people together in them days without social media was probably quite an achievement.
Good job there weren't social media around as well in them days.
Well, yeah, good point. Yeah,
That party went off.
I got kicked out of the forum because I had DC on my shoulders. So you know, it got too leery, didn't it?
It did. It's BMXs together. You can't put them together.
Best times. I'll wrap up this bit
Sorry.
section. So, Keichy's been shouting us out on his post, so appreciate that. Hoodie's been back
Fantastic.
in the DMs, ranting. Fantastic. He's been ranting about BMX tracks. We should probably chat to Hoodoo at some point. He's got lots of opinions, and we were talking about the evolution of tracks and whether they were getting easier or harder. Eddie Moore was back in the DMs. We were talking about big doubles on the last episode, and he reminded me of ones at Gosport 2010, 2013. And I think I'd raced the track then, but I can't remember the big dubs. Clearly, I wasn't jumping over them, so there must have been a decent set.
I'm going to throw this out there on that. I don't think it was that big. If it's the Gosport track I'm thinking of that had 9 straights, but granted, in that year, I'm sure he'd have been about 10, so they probably were massive to him. They were just a double on the second straight that you kind of. Well, it might not have been the second; it might have been the third by the fourth 90 bar that you did it. But you had to jump them. Yeah, I wouldn't say they were big, but if that is the one I'm thinking of.
It must have been. And then lastly, swapped a few messages with the guy that's running the berm, not the BAM, the berm, which looks to be a pretty good resource. I've had a flick through that this morning, and if I was in UK BMX, there'd be lots of good info in there. And but it did tell me that camping spots had been sold out.
But it was Googling it, isn't he?
It's the SEO needs sorting, because if you search it, you won't get to it. I searched it and I couldn't get there, but it's
a good Instagram page. I
burm.com.
like that. BURM. Yeah, I like it.
So just for context, because I'm out of it, what is it briefly? Is it
Just
just
a bit of static.
one-stop shop for all information?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
it. Upcoming races.
Why doesn't
outlet,
BC?
Club Finder.
Why isn't BC that resource? Or is that too much of a stupid question to ask?
It's a stupid question to ask because the answer will be the fact.
Is that naive of me to think that the federation should provide that?
No, it's
Yeah, I
well.
don't know. Does everyone still hate on BC? Obviously, I'm well out of it now.
I don't know if they.
Sean, how's the how did you find trying to get an
Don't
entry?
you
for
get me
Gosport?
started on BC? Well, like I said, June's been really busy, isn't it? So I've been racing, and then I thought I finished Mansfield Regional on Sunday. So Monday, I thought I'd check to see who's racing Gosport. Went onto my category and thought, shit, my name ain't on there. So I hadn't registered. So I thought, okay, I'll just go on and register. It all closed. And then text Ria was like, how the hell do I register? Because obviously I booked camping and everything else. I need to get in the mix. And she just said, there's a late entry. So I went down to the bottom, late it'd clicked on it. I thought, it'd be a couple of quid, fine. Double the price.
So what's that? What's a double entry cost you?
It's cost me 100 quid, right? 100 quid to do the national, which, let's be honest, guys, it's my own fault. It is my own fault. But I weren't expecting it to be double. So I'm going to pay 100 quid to do 8 laps.
It
Well,
is
you better
quite
do well, then.
rudimentary, isn't it? Sorry, yeah, Dex. I can't help but think that there's no moto sheets that need to be amended later.
Well, this was my argument.
So it shuts. How far does it shut out from the event?
At Sunday. I'm sure it shut on Sunday, a week before.
Right, okay.
Well, it might have been Saturday then. But yeah, I'd missed it by about a day or two. But I don't know how much admin is involved anymore because it's surely automated.
It's probably not much at all for you, one late entry into Masters, but you've got to discourage everyone from doing it.
I get it.
Because if you've got 100 late entries, then that is a volunteer sweating, messing about with moto sheets and things like that. So you've got to discourage it.
End of the day, I've learnt my lesson and I'm not going to do that again. My PA, Hayley, is going to book all my all my entry fees from now on, and to a point where I'm thinking, do you know what? At the start of the season, you might as well just book them all. If you've got that much, like if you've got 250 quid lying around, book the whole season, job done, and then you don't have to worry about it.
Talking of PAs, I haven't got one, but I know someone that has. They've got a really cost-effective personal assistant on I think $7 an hour. Based in the Philippines, and very easy to get, very easy to contract with. If you're that kind of person and you need your house sorting out, you can get that PA support.
Passport incoming soon.
Yeah. Oh, then they don't even have to live on shore. Kaylee doesn't have to worry about you with the PA.
Well, okay, fair enough. Sounds good. Honestly, my life is organised by other people. But then again, I've learnt my lesson. My fault. I hold my hands up. But BC have ripped me off.
Well, there's your beef. Anyway, that's the roundup. In terms of what sucked, so that was what rocked and all the support we get. We did have technical issues, and I did do a little apology at the beginning of the last video. We think, and shout out to Riverside because they put a bit of effort into trying to resolve this. We think it was a mismatch in settings with a camera and the settings of the stream going to Riverside, and hopefully we won't get that today. And we do know that we had some bandwidth issues at Sean's house, and you'll see that he's got a different backdrop because he's in a different room, and we have a lot better reception this week.
I'm in the kitchen.
Where it all goes on.
Where it all goes on. But can we just... I'm going to address another elephant in the room, that Dex is in a flipping gilet on the hottest day of the year in the UK.
This is probably the coldest day that I've had so far on the Gold Coast.
It's probably the same temperature, isn't it?
Yeah, well, it's showing 17, so it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be because it's been pretty cold, but my fingers are cold. There's a weird thing. People in the UK will think I'm super soft because, you'll live through zeros and you'll be out BMX racing when there's frost on the track. The houses here in Queensland are built for 9 months of the year when it's boiling hot. And it's weird. The windows, no double glazing on the windows. That's just not a thing. So they kind of rattle a little bit in the wind. No insulation. Some people put insulation in to try and stop the sun coming through. But when winter comes, the house, for 3 months of the year, the house is not geared up to it. So it's slippers, long traggy bottoms, jumpers, gilets, and you feel the cold. You have to, but it's weird because it's 20 degrees outside in the sun, but your house is freezing cold. So people will be like, "Oh, woe is me, poor lad on the Gold Coast."
Yeah, 20 degrees sounds freezing.
Yeah, I know, but it's weird. It's weird.
Sat here sweating.
All right. We've got a couple of bikes to look at this week, so we'll get onto that at some point. So thank you for the people that have sent their bikes in. You probably like the ones that we've got this week to look at, so that'll be good. And we've definitely got a lot to talk about from a racing perspective. I don't know where you want to go next in terms of having a look at a bit of a race roundup.
I'm all good. It's all planned.
You lead it, Sean. Nellie's here. I'm going to show Nellie.
Why am I leading? Oh, go on, the woofer. Good woofer.
Nellie's first appearance on the pod.
I think we start. Where should we start? Should we start at Teal?
Yeah, go through, Sean. You lead on.
GB men, junior. Boys are on fire, weren't they? Good to see Hilly back. Mini Hilly. Is he Mini Hilly? Yeah, he's the youngest one, isn't he? Jared Hill back in the mix. Got straight into a final after a big layoff, along with all the other boys.
Was it five riders in the
Five,
final?
yeah.
And that track was good. That track was what I would remember a Euro trip track to be.
Yeah.
You'd rock up and look at it and go, that's going to be a bit difficult.
Big first straight. That's what
Triples
I enjoyed. Huge.
everywhere.
Yeah, liked that. Looked tight for the pros on the second straight, but I loved it as a spectator.
I thought Criddle could have won actually one of the days, but he didn't move over. I think he just held his. He went straight, and then look, I'm not going to tell these lot how to ride because they know how to ride, but I think he could have won that one. But yeah, I mean, I'm well impressed with that. And another one is that Finn Hoff for the Be Strong team, which I feel like we should talk about the Be Strong team at some point as well. To be fair. But yeah, 15, 16-year-olds, and he was right up the arse of the world champ. So that's exciting ahead of Copenhagen for sure.
Yeah, I've noticed him, and I don't know that name. I don't know him as a kid, but I've noticed him, seen that he rides like he could be one of those that could definitely turn it up a notch and go into championship and start killing it. So yeah,
I think he's got to be thinking about getting in that final for Copenhagen for sure.
So what age is he in?
15, 16.
15,
I don't know if he's
16.
15 or 16. I'd imagine he's 16.
Yeah. So he'll be there then for that, you would assume.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at the Copenhagen, how many people you can send stats. So we were just talking about, was it junior men or under 23 where we had
Junior
five in
men.
the final?
Yeah, junior men.
But we can send, for under 23, we can send 2 males.
Yeah.
So that's a tough call in terms of who you're going to send to Copenhagen.
Yeah, made a little bit easier.
How does that get decided?
BC, I'd imagine. Obviously, Callum Russell I'd be sending in under 23s, but he's just spuffed himself recently. And I say recently, in Sarian's
technical term.
Yes, yeah. Sorry, I'm on the gin now. Yeah, he's had a bad crash. Internal bleeding on the liver, I believe.
Yeah, healing vibes. The video doesn't look great at all, does it? From wheel just washes out, and
weird one.
It's not very nice. So yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess he'd potentially be out. I mean, how long we got until the Worlds? What are we on? It's 12th
August.
of June. Oh yeah, we've got a while to be fair.
I know we need to book the flights, sure.
Well, yeah, we do. Yeah,
You can
keep
book
saying
the
it.
flights and buy the microphone so you can record something in the stands. Like the headphones and the microphone.
we've booked a hotel, but we
Yeah.
haven't booked any flights.
Big 5G antenna up in the stands.
Hey, we are.
Take
I'll
a
tell you what we
Starlink.
are going to do. We're going to go and sit with the AP 130 lot.
Yeah, we'll sit with Arthur Pillard's fan club.
yeah.
And fair play,
Anyway.
jumping around races here, but he was the one that showed at the French Cup this weekend at Sarion's. So as a precursor to the season, he beat all the top guys. So, well, I say all the top guys. Obviously, a lot of them sat out, but he was looking really hot.
Big fan.
Yeah, it's going to be an exciting race, that one. I think I'll get up and watch whatever stream there is.
You're invested in it as well.
I am now, and it's a pain watching Euro races over here, but I guess I should drag myself out of bed.
You've bought 2. Is it 2 or 1 sweepstake tickets?
2. Now we probably shouldn't talk about that because I reckon we'd be contravening some kind of regulation.
I reckon there may be some AI screening here.
Something. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Maybe we should come up with a code name and we'll post it on our Instagram.
Yeah. Well, I think even Facebook found you out one time, didn't they?
I did. I got banned from Facebook for doing a sweepstake for the people. No profit is made. Entries go back in. But anyway, I'm going to stop talking before Riverside shuts us down.
Yeah.
Buy some sweepstake tickets.
Right. So anything else from Teal?
Randall Todd, Smash Junior Women. Easy. I don't know what the kind of. I don't know how many races were there. I didn't really look at the stats, but she's obviously again another one who's come off the back of an injury, sick on a bike, and just smashed every lap like it was a walk in the park for her. So fair play to her.
That track, her skills, was everything was great about it. Looks great, and then straight away she goes and does like some sort of freestyle event straight after it. That's what I think is quite cool about her.
Sick,
Like
isn't it?
she's able to compete at that top level for both, which is really cool to see.
I'm intrigued to see how she steps up to elite women, to see if she gets swallowed or if she will be in and about the mix. Because I can imagine she's not scared of contact. Someone who can do like flips and things. You can't be scared of falling off your bike. So
No. Well, she's only first year junior, so that'll take a while, won't it? They've got so many steps now with U23. They can take a time, but I'd imagine that as long as she continues to love it, and I know she's been racing for a long time, but the freestyle doesn't take a priority over anything. But
yeah,
why not? Why not do both? I think it's great.
for sure.
I'm just looking at the Sarian's entry list. I can't see her in the under 23.
I don't think she's travelled
Yeah.
because I've seen like Emily Hutt and Beth's going to be there, but I don't think she's travelled.
I think you might be right. It's always difficult when you're looking at a sea of names quickly, but I can't see her in the entry list.
I think I've recently seen her on the skate park, so I don't know if she's got a comp coming up for that.
Well, it's good to have the depth.
Yeah, 100%. I've just realised I'm getting darker and darker, so I'm going to put the lights on.
Yeah, that entry list for Sarians has actually thrown up some really good ones. Yeah. We can segue into it if we really want to, but I think there's been a few graduations from U23 that are quite interesting. I think you saw Taya Rufus, U23 champ from last year. She's gone up to elite. You've got Sabina Kosakova. She's come off all these Crankworks wins and pump track wins, and she's gone from U23 to elite. There's a few of the lads that have moved, not so many. It seems to have been that the women have gone quite hard into the elite class, which is great because I think there's been a bit of a void for a little while. So I'd be interested to see Taya Rufus. I want to see in the
She's
mix.
good. Her and Bella May are good, and they were both good at the Supercross in Brisbane last year. But Taya seemed to have the measure of her both days slightly. I thought Bella would have done good because she's been in Europe doing stuff, but she dinged herself. I don't think she's actually going to race, even though she's on the entry list. Record entries.
She's got the red plate, isn't she? For the Euros.
In Europe, yeah. I think she's travelled and crashed there in France, unfortunately. Shout out to Bella May. Again, we're talking about Be Strong, but she's been spending some time in the UK, I think, with the team, which is pretty cool.
Can we go off topic? What do we know about Be Strong?
Not a lot. Sean, you're the one that attends the nationals. You're supposed to be coming with the.
I know bits in terms of like it's a team that's been made by a rich guy that I don't really know much about. But I think they get paid for podiums. I think they get paid for obviously their results, which is a new thing. I don't think there's many teams out there that do that. I don't know the full amounts that they get paid. I don't know how much that is common knowledge. I don't know if it varies from elites to junior. He's a guy that I'd like to see. Get him on the pod. Let's have a chat with him.
Well, let's slide into the DMs. We're happy to take back channel information about anything. And, shout out to the sugar daddies of BMX because over the years, they make a massive impact on the sport. We all know who they are. But the people with a bit of cash in the pocket that invest into the sport, invest into the shops, invest into the teams, because there is no financial return for them, really. But shout out to them because it actually makes a big difference to the sport.
I think that has to be emphasised, doesn't it? That there has been many over the years. And again, it would probably be, I don't know, maybe bad taste to call things out, but there was never going to be any return for it. It was always like a passion project, wasn't it? For many different individuals and companies over the years that have put into the scene. Who knows if they can make it work? If the marketing and the social media now has moved the proposition a little bit forward, that means that if you do I'm going to put a number out there, 50k into running a team for the year, can you see some return on investment in some degree or not? I'm not sure. Is the world a lot smaller now because of social media, because of corporate sponsorship that you could in turn bring into your team? I don't know.
I don't think you can get a return, but I'm all for people throwing money at BMX because that's how the more professional teams that are going around, the better it looks at the track, the more people are going to go, I want to be there. And if I don't know, if someone's looking to put it on TV and they are walking around at that point and they say, flipping it, that's a setup, maybe this is a bit more professional than what we think, it's a little bit better. I mean, you can go to the BMX hype tent that's got no sides on sometimes, or you can go
And
into
no
the
chairs by the look of it.
Well, we have now. We've sorted that out. Or you can go like you walk into the Rab tent, the RAB Brooksy's lot. You walk in there, it's like a 5-star hotel. There's fruit out. They've got high stools with the high. Honestly, it's like I'd walked in the Radisson. TV on the side that's got the live feed, even though you can just go and stand and watch it there. But do you know what I mean? Like it just looks professional. So I'm all for people throwing money at BMX.
I think it's great. It takes
It's
nothing
quality.
away from the sport
Love it.
at all. I can't remember whether this was one of you or someone else that had slid into the DMs, but we were talking about how to make television work for these kind of events. And someone had said, go live from quarters or semis on, but create a TV show where all of the previous stuff's been edited as highlights, so the motos and the qualifiers, then go live for the final events. And I thought, yeah, that would work. You tune in and you wouldn't get bored, and everything could be peppered in and pre-edited. It would come at a dollar price for putting it together, but that would work.
I think it needs to happen. Really
Yeah,
do.
that was definitely it. It was like build up the B-roll and the interview content ahead of time, a little bit like the European series does, where Warlock goes and walks the pits and goes and picks people out and says, talk to me for a little bit, but then also obviously dot in a little bit of B-roll, a little bit of sponsor content, a little bit of recap from last weekend or 4 weeks ago, whenever the last round was. But I do like that. I mean, in the road world, I listen to a lot of podcasts and stuff on the road world, and there's no return on investment in road teams. These big corporate sponsors, might put up, and it's millions, it's not thousands in those regards, but they'll put up Canyon in it. They'll run their pro teams and they'll give away 200 bikes and they will put in 5 million a year and there'll be no return on investment. But it's a cost of being in the sport and having a passion project.
It's a tax relief. That's what it is. It's a tax relief.
And that it can go into an event, into an asset.
So if anyone wants to get rid of some tax relief, you can sponsor this podcast.
Oh, I'm always happy. Always happy to take a sponsor.
Or BMX hype. You choose. Quick plug.
Yeah, we'll fund some race trips.
France. Get the French lot on us.
But Sarians, under 23 male, 169 entries.
Yeah,
so that's going to be a long day.
Isn't that 60 or 70 French?
Yeah,
as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I was talking to Ross actually before I know we're not on the RC22 appreciation section, but I was talking to Ross because they obviously went out to the champs before the French Cup, which by the way, French know what they're doing, don't they? Putting that on the week before the Supercross. But he said there was 160 in elite out in England. For a national, we get excited if there's 17 that we can knock one off and we'll have semis and we can get a final. Yeah. They're smashing out 160 just for one of their local races, their national races.
Class.
Even back in the day, I think Marco said something to me that I thought was flabbergasted, and it was the number of license holders, BMX license holders in France, and it was an astronomical number. And I'll get it wrong, so I won't try. But it's getting even deeper. As years go on, it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
But it's not fodder either. They're all sick. Like, I get it, it's a massive country, but they've got it right. We need to follow that model.
We definitely do. And it is a big country, but it's not massive. It's not like America size.
No. And they're struggling for riders. Decent riders.
So
the population of France, is about similar to the UK.
I didn't know that. Yeah. Great stat.
Yeah. I just Googlised it.
I took A-level geography.
I took A-level geography, and it was more about road construction and clouds. It was a bit weird.
It was about sand dunes. Pointless.
Longshore drift.
Yeah. I hope your GCSEs are going all right, guys.
So, an elite men, I think it was something like 80-something entries. 85 entries.
Yeah. Oh, the last time I checked for the ice cream sale.
So that'd be good, And I wondered whether, with there being no points, whether some people wouldn't be making the trek. And there's some people that have not travelled, but there's plenty that are. There's a bucket load of Aussies that have made the big trip. There's Brazilians that are in it.
Well, this is what we was worried about the other day, weren't we? In terms of it's not UCI, it's not Olympic points. They're not on offer. So let's see how this how this season goes. But it's going to be a quick and short, because I mean, round 3 and 4 next weekend in Papendal follows back to back. Half the season's done in a week. So we look forward
There's
to it.
like well over 20 French elites in elite.
Yeah. They can only send 4 to the world champs though.
Yeah.
So good luck being that panel. And we said the GB panel was hard. Imagine being the French on the French panel. Who are you going to choose?
Yeah. Hey, but only two GB are on the entry list for Sarians. So Ross and Quillen.
Yeah, and Quillen's had to drive there himself because he's now a privateer.
He is. But I really hope he's going to do well.
I messaged him and I was like, the joys of privateer. He's got like a 15-hour drive. He goes, yeah, as long as it pays off, he'd be happy.
Well, it'd be interesting to see how he does without. And I'm not saying there's a pressure that comes with a GB team, but there's it's a different environment to be in. So it'd be really interesting how it fares for him this weekend. You know, rocking up with just his own weight on his shoulders and nothing else.
Yeah. I hope it does. I hope it does pay off for him. But I mean, it's a long drive back if it doesn't, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Like, that's not.
Well, I'm assuming he'll drive to Papendal if he's making all that trip.
Yeah, you're probably right. To be fair,
Yeah.
on his own though, sat in the car on his own.
I mean, that's rough in itself. The point I wanted to make about Sarians is the Russians are back.
Sneaky Russians.
Well, can we?
What
Okay.
flag are they racing under?
So shall I clarify the athletes under a neutral? What's the exact name? Individual neutral athletes can compete under an AIN nationality. And
It's like the
Yaroslav
Olympics.
Bondarenko's back, and Alexander Katashev is there, but I can't see him on the list. I don't know what's happened there.
Must be about 50 by
Suvarova's
now.
husband. There's a
No,
few
he's there
under
on the list.
23s.
Oh, he's there. I
Is
can
he?
see him. Yeah. Top of
that's
the.
Is Super Over racing for research purposes, obviously.
We're big Suvarova fans. Let's have a goose. Should be better at this, shouldn't we?
Yeah, it's not gripping, is it? When you're trying to search your way through a document.
No,
We'll
we've
have to have
talked about
some
this in the past.
assistant.
We like this, don't we?
Yeah,
But it's
well,
like the Olympics. I'll do a bit of filling though. They were allowed to compete at the Olympics, the Russians, weren't they? But it was under like the Russian Olympic Committee, and they had the Olympic flag rather than the Russian flag. They're still Russians. Like, do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
I'd
they'll
like to know
identify
if
as such. It's their federation that's been dealt with the sanction and their country. It's not them, is it? Let's make that painfully clear.
And I doubt
all BMXs are welcome.
Yeah. I doubt the Russian the KGB and all them lot are going. We need to get hold of the BMXs. I think it'd be more the powerlifters and the shot putters and everything else, wouldn't it?
It goes deeper than that. We're not going to go that political, are we?
Yeah, I don't want to get into the. But listen, BMX and sauce goes together like fish and chips.
Depends where you're from.
There's sauces from every country on the entry list.
Go on, what you found, Peter?
I can't see Katashev. There's a kid in U23 that I don't recognise. But Katashev and oh god, who's the other Russian rider? Cal'll be able to tell me right now. There's a few guys that used to make mains pretty consistently. Bondarenko was good.
I'm intrigued to see how much, because they have been riding because they've got that nice indoor facility, haven't they? So they do ride a lot over there. But I don't know. They've all gone a bit quiet, haven't they?
Well,
let's see what they do.
We'll see.
Yeah, Komarov was the other guy that was
Komarov,
that was up there.
Yeah,
and they were like clean riders. They're like pretty skillful. Like their form was always really good. I always thought that was a good thing because they're quite isolated. So, they're right. Their facilities are great, but yeah, why not come back on the scene? What's changed? That's what I'd like to know. If anyone would like to slide into DMs, why are they now allowed to compete under this AIN? Because I don't believe, although I can't say for sure, that I've seen that being used before at a World Championships or a World Cup. So slide into the comments, guys, if you know.
Imagine if they win. If they win.
BMX is BMX. It's going to be great. So obviously massive weekend of racing there, and then into Papendal straight after for the weekend. And before we get into Papendal though, which the weather can cause trouble at Papendal, and I've been there where we've had flamethrowers on the start gate to try and dry it between motos. But you mentioned crosswinds last week at Sarians.
No,
Sarians
it wasn't.
and Dessel.
Dessel was the one.
Well, Sarians did have its problems because that's been hit by weather at the events before. The big one that hit socials was the Three Nations Cup, the one that they do with Belgium, Germany, and the Netherlands, was held at Dessel last weekend, and it was just wiping out. The main came on, and it would wipe out like 3-4 of the riders. There'd be a big side wind, all their front wheels would go underneath them, and it just seemed to be carnage.
I hate wind. I hate riding in wind. Is Dessel still similar track to how it used to be? Paved turns?
No, it's big.
Completely
It's big.
changed.
Yeah.
I used to love Dessel, the old Dessel, where we'd do the first straight, 90, you kind of jump up a step up, and then another 90, and then you'd come like a corner, pump off, and then you just hit a massive double. You just pedal and just hope for the best. Now, they've completely changed that. It's a U kind of, rather than a U inside a U. BMXers know what I've just said. Non-BMXers, you've probably just switched off.
It's a serpent now, Sean, I believe it's named as.
Is that the name? Oh.
A serpent. Yeah. It's just instead of a U and a U.
Couple of S-bends. But yeah, it looks sick, but it looks tight.
It's got a pro section in that same footprint because it was never a big park, was it?
No,
I think it had a pro straight on the third straight, the old one. I believe it's split.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it did actually. There was one iteration it did have that, yeah.
Can we do a Dessel story?
We should, because that was we sessioned that track on a Euro trip in, I think, 2010, and it was a great session track then because it wasn't huge and there was lots to have a little dink at. But
Am I right
took
thinking we was in Valkenswaard first?
We were.
Because we went Dessel the year before, didn't we? Loved it. And then we was in Valkenswaard and we said, let's just drive to Dessel because it's like an hour, which in BMX terms is no time. Like everywhere else we'll be like, flipping it, it's an hour away. But like BMX, that's an hour. Yeah, we got in, didn't we? We had to do a bit of chatting. But we did,
because two a minibus and a VW transporter rocked up with a load of keen people after getting booted off the Valkenswaard camping pitch the day after, and we were supposed to leave on the night of, so we left the day after. But we were disappointed to see all the gates locked at Dessel.
So we met a random guy who could barely walk, and he was like, "Oh yes, success. Hello to you, my friends. I am Joe Schmidt's father. I will ring Joe Schmidt's."
Yeah, because did you reckon you knew Joel Schmitz?
I told him I knew Joel Schmitz.
Yeah, you absolutely filled him and said, yeah, okay. He said it's okay to come here. And his name was Frank. He's the old motorbike rider, wasn't he? Because they're like massive. I think they're motorbike royalty, aren't they, the Schmitz? And,
because I'd
bless him.
Cause
yeah, someone got a key down to us.
Well, it was called the Joel Schmitz track, weren't it? Or the Frank?
It was, Joel Schmitz Raceway.
And I'd remembered that from the year before, and I was like, oh, yeah, Joel Schmitz, great guy. Lo and behold, he rang the keys, let us in for like an hour, 2 hours. He even started the gate, didn't he, for us? He was like, oh, do you want the gate? Do you want the gate? I'll get the gate going. And we was like, look, mate, no, it's fine. Like, we're happy to ride the track.
Yeah, got the suck shop going and everything for us.
He did.
Even at the time, I actually didn't know you'd fully bullshitted him. I thought you had some link to Joel Schmitz.
No, other than I rode his track the year before. No, it was good. Great trip. Love that track as well. Great track.
Yeah, we had a great session. You know, a whole mix of riders. Opie was on that trip as well. We were all enjoying it.
That was the AD Warden trip that we spoke about in episode 2.
I think even Barker was on the trip, and Barker was rolling around it on his freestyle bike.
Yeah, it was a good one. I think I had a broken wrist because I didn't race. Did I race? I don't think I raced Valkenswaard, but I had a cast on because I've got a picture of me riding on the Dessel track with a cast on.
Oh, that could be true.
You did a better riding, Sean.
Yeah, I might have done. Just trying to work out the dates.
It's 2010.
It's 2010.
Yeah.
Good trip.
All right. Papendal. So we might as well talk about Papendal because we probably won't get another podcast out before that one starts. And you know the weather can play havoc there. So, but it's always been a good track. I don't know if they've changed it much since the last time there was a World Cup there.
I don't think they have.
No, it's a bit of a strange one, isn't it? Because this year's events just having 4 weekends, and then not building towards the bigger goal of amassing Olympic points. It's a bit of a damp squib. And if we're going back to Papendal, fair play, it's a great facility, great track. It will be good watching, but it's there's nothing that's like a hang your hat on this. It's going to be an amazing event for this reason, in my opinion.
I think Papendal, they'll probably change the track when they get the Olympic track from LA. That's when they usually throw money at Papendal, don't they? And they try and replicate it. And they'll go from there. You've just reminded me though, Booter, about like putting on events. Scott Beaumont messaged me about who raises the money for these kind of events, because we talked about it. I think it was in episode 1 where
It was.
Is it actually a viable thing? And it's the local area that put the money up, and like Visit Scotland would have put up for Glasgow and things like that. So it's not actually the BMX people that put the cash up. So they see it as an investment of getting people into the area and so on, or they've got a budget that they need to spend. So guys, if you want to run an event, that's how you tap people up, tap your local area councils and all that lot up, and they should have a budget for it.
And the Papendal one, because Papendal's not a massively touristy area, is the cycling centre. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
It's like
I've
their
been
national
there once.
I think it's got
kind of
other-
in the middle of nowhere.
It's all sports, isn't it?
Yeah, it's got some more sports as well, hasn't it? And
It's like the
I
Chula
just
Vista
realised-
of...
Yeah, I just realised that the Papendal lists are out as well, because
Ah.
evidently it's the same, be under the
Maybe
same
next.
wave. Broadly the same, of course.
I'll sort the next ice cream sale out then as well.
Yeah. Booter said something there that made me think about replicating the Olympic track. Is that still a thing that happens as much as it used to? Because it used to, didn't it? There was the Chula track, and then it was going to be London 2012, and there was the alternate London replica. I think was Papendal like a bit of a replica of the London track? I can't remember.
Yeah.
Are people still doing that? Are countries still doing that?
I think it's about gaining those advantages, isn't it? I think they probably didn't do it. They didn't do it for Paris. I know that for sure, because Paris was like the most open Olympic track I've ever seen. Everyone had ridden it.
Yeah.
Whether they'll do it for LA, because it's going to be a bit more costly to fly people out to LA to go and practice that. And I don't think it'll be a permanent track, because I do believe, are they doing it on the beachfront, or is that just the park?
No, I think there is. I think a few weeks ago, maybe a couple of months ago, actually, Dale did something with BMX Weekly, and I think they've changed the site of it. So as it was really downtown, and now it's going to be Long Beach, I think.
Which is going to be carnage of wind, by the way.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to. Don't get me wrong. It's going to be the most expensive Olympics that's ever been hosted, hasn't it? And it is going to be a temporary track. I don't know when, like, the design comes out and when it's under embargo, and whether tracks will choose to try and replicate something. That definitely happens. That's what Papendal was changed for last time, and as we know, Chula. We're guessing, aren't we? I
Who
don't
will
imagine
build it?
that. It's a question, isn't it? Who knows?
Yeah. Who's going to
Is
build it?
Tom Ritz.
Well, and is Tom Ritz still in the business of those
I don't
kind of
know.
tracks?
Maybe
He's
not.
still in the business, and actually Tom Ritz does build some pretty good tracks, and he's built some crazy stuff. He doesn't dress them nicely. I don't think American track builders dress them nicely. No one ever dressed a track as well as Clark and Kent have dressed a track. But it'd be interesting to see who builds it.
Yeah. I'd be
And
intrigued.
I think like Damien Gaudet seemed to gain a lot of momentum with the Paris build, I believe. But
Yeah,
obviously, I'm always
yeah.
going to back Clark and Kent to do the job.
I'd be happy with either of them, though, Gaudet or Clark and Kent. I know Tom Ritz built the
turncoat.
South Africa one. That was like a rough one. Yeah, come off it. I just want a good track. I know that them two are good builders.
Incredible. Yeah. But who knows? Who knows whether that will be a thing, and whether it'll be I don't know what track builders they have in the US now. I'd imagine that people are there right now trying to get their foot in the door for that contract.
They're definitely getting steeper and deeper, the American tracks, though. They're not as mellow and boring as what they were, that's for sure.
Well, there's a whole spectrum, isn't there? And there is some really good ones, but I looked at some of the first straights from Nashville, and that's my kind of track.
I love
Flat
that.
hill. Oh, pull all the way.
Power. Yeah, get me out of that one.
Yeah, I think it's the Rock this weekend as well, Rockford. And that, again, is that like dog leg, but like flat hill, just pull. That's, I enjoy Supercross, but I do enjoy a flat hill.
Old school.
Little
Old
hill.
school.
What else do you want to talk about racing? And then we'll have a look at a couple of bikes.
What was another
Racing
one?
wise, no, I think we've closed over, haven't we? To be fair,
Gosport National this weekend, but we'll see how that one goes.
Yeah,
shout your prediction out, Sean. What are you
God.
going for yourself?
A top 4. I'll take a top 4. It's my kind of track, I think. I don't know because I've not raced it yet. And again, I'm going down Friday night, and I'll probably get a couple of laps Saturday morning before racing. But it seems like a simple track. It's a pro start, which I like. It's my first pro start of the year. But I'll take a 4th. But again, I don't know who's turning up. Adam Brazil's back.
Where was Neil and Adam at Manchester?
So weird one. Neil was there. He was entered, but he's buggered his neck doing. And this is like I say, you shouldn't train too much, guys. You shouldn't train at all. If he cricked his neck doing a box jump, so he couldn't move. So he's a bit of a mess. Although he's in Copenhagen at the minute because everyone's gone over on a 1-day trip. I don't know if you've seen this. Like Cal's gone and a few others. They've literally flew out this morning. They're flying back tonight. Just rode the track. So there's loads of them.
Christ, there's some money in BMX.
He is riding the.
I don't know what's happened to
people to be
Sean's
doing that.
internet. We've lost
Adam
him.
Brazil again was entered.
his face is
But
just
I'll
popped
fill
his
if you want. Yeah, the
eardrum.
BMX.
Kept losing
there
his
seemed to be a
balance.
hell of a track
So-
session happening today.
Mad.
But it did excite me. I saw a few videos coming out. I thought, yeah, this looks
From
like
Copenhagen.
a big track, but it does
Yeah.
look like a racer's track. It looks like there's
think I've just fell
opportunity.
off the
The
internet.
berms seem quite big. There is a challenging third straight, certainly for the amateurs, with a big double at the end, which I do like the look of.
And it's a change track, isn't it? Because didn't Copenhagen used to have paved turns? Was that one of the paved tracks?
Yeah, back in the day, I think I went for the 2011 Worlds. It had paved turns, I believe, and it's vastly changed. Vastly changed. The pro side on the new design, you can do some up and down lines. They can hop from one jump to the next. It's a good design. There's a lot of level changes which is good. So I think it's gonna be huge. It's like a big first straight, massive wide first straight, long opportunity to get a lot of speed up, and then pro straight as well. Sean's back online. How you doing, mate?
He's on a different machine. He's wide angle.
Oh, I don't know, same machine. Just decided to come
Oh.
in. Maybe I was being too boring when I was doing my speech.
I don't know. You seem okay now, like you're pixelated, but I'm sure by the time it comes through Riverside, you'll be all right.
Where did I get to with the story? What did you hear?
I can't remember.
Neil
on about people-
has
oh,
hurt his
yeah.
neck on a box jump, and then you
then
were
Adam-
saying, yeah, I
Adam
asked
Brazil.
where Adam Brazil was.
All right. So he basically his eardrum popped and he lost all balance, so he couldn't race.
Oh, no way.
Madness.
I'm not going to say it's the old class, but it sounds like it's the old class.
Once you go over
You
35.
got to look after yourself, boys.
Like 30 plus injuries, aren't they? Like, it's not a crash. Someone's cricked their neck doing a box jump, and Adam's hearing's gone.
This is why you don't train or just don't overexert yourself, guys. Get
I
to
can't
work.
believe that you lot are getting so old.
Bad, innit? Bad.
Yeah, like I knew I was old, but like you're my young friends. You're getting old.
Yeah, it's funny, because growing up, when you used to look at the, if we go BMX specific here, we'd look at 25 plus, as it were, in the day. And I thought, how are these guys still riding a bike? You just look at them like, and it'd be chaos, wouldn't it? Every turn, they'd be smashing into each other. People would be popping wrists and breaking collarbones because they were made of, nothing. And this was me at 15 thinking that 25 was old or 30 was old. And now we're
There you
all
are.
getting old.
All right. Let's have a look at a couple of bikes. So thank you to the people that sent them in. I think these people were sad that they missed the first wave. So hopefully you should get one. Right, 2 bikes. So this is another one of Stu Dixon's bills. This is Kelsey's bike. She doesn't have it anymore. She
the pink
sold
one?
it
Yeah,
to part
nice.
fund her big trip around Australia. So she's probably all the value of that bike was probably drunk in beers in Vietnam. But I think was this a custom paint job that Stu got done on this one?
I don't know if it was.
I don't know.
It's-
So
it
we're
was
looking
nice.
at a carbon speed coat with pink accents.
One of the early carbons, that is, as well, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
again, it's really, really small bike. Takes after her old man, doesn't she?
Well, I'm looking at those cranks and I'm going, what length cranks are those? And I'm wondering if they're a little bit long for Kelsey's legs. She'll get back in the DMs and tell us whether they were right or wrong. The profile
They
elites as well.
they do look like that. Yeah, they do look like they're longer than the seat tube.
Yeah.
But yeah,
That
but no, it's obviously a nice bike. It's a good few years old now. I remember her building it. I think that was
Yeah.
custom paint. It's a wicked
So it's
bike.
gone, and she says she's not going to race again, but everyone says they're not going to race again.
She's still in the mix. She still keeps a watch over all the racing. She'll be back. I mean, yeah, it looks a nice bike. I'm a fan of it, but I just don't know if I trust carbon yet. I know everyone keeps telling me that the Mabo carbons and all that are sick, but
You should probably try one. I mean, back to Eddie Moore's comment, a couple of episodes ago, him not liking it, not getting on with it. And I remember when carbon first came out, and a few people would talk about the way they would turn. I've never ridden one, I couldn't say, but maybe they're not for everyone.
I do love an Envy rim though.
They're my favourite wheels.
Oh, just the one, didn't they?
Pure BMX. Pure BMX. All right.
Looks
Well,
fast.
beautiful
Fan of
bike,
it.
Kelsey. Thanks for sending that in. Here's another one now. This is an interesting one. So Gildog has got in on it. And
Yes,
he
go
said,
on, the
this is
Gildog."
the most unusual bike for a comeback bike ever. So I really I've got a lot to say about this bike.
I think Ross has got some money. He's
He's got some. He's never not
He's
had
on his
money.
road bike, and he's on his road bike. I think he's got a Pinarello.
He's got
I
an
like
original
Ross.
orange as well, which he
Yes,
gets out.
I
up
did
the
enjoy that
hills
one.
on.
Yeah, I did enjoy
what a
this.
beautiful bike.
This is a frame that I thought I could see myself riding when they came out, the aluminium Velox. Yeah. And it's sick though, isn't it? It's nice.
So straight, isn't it? That top tube all the way down. It's just straight. Do you know what is hurting me though? The fact he's leaning it on the side of the van. I know the van looks battered, but my God,
I don't think the Vans is.
Is it?
I'm guessing with the kind of motors I've seen Gildog drive over the years, I don't know if it is or not.
Do you want me to be really sad? Where is the track? Is that?
Well,
Oh,
I'd guess Plattfields, but it doesn't look Plattfields. So would it make it Bruntwood? I'm trying to think where Gildog would surface.
do you know what my initial impression was? No, that doesn't make sense. My
Derby.
initial impression was Derby. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought. But now I'm
beside,
thinking it's
beside
not
the start hill
because it's
or beside the last straight.
Yeah, because it's paved though.
No, actually, this is beside the last straight, isn't it, Sean? That's the last berm. We're not doing what we should be doing here, are we?
Yeah.
No, not doing what we should be doing.
That's Derby. That is Derby.
I think it's Derby,
So
yeah.
we were just looking at an older Speedco. This is the newest of the new. Now, this is pure Gildog, the way he's displayed this bike, but he's made some strange choices that I want to talk about. So look at the wheels, look at where the valve caps are coming through,
Yeah.
look at how the tyres are aligned to the logo on the rims.
Yeah, there's no
There's
mistake.
nothing but precision in this. Yet, and he's deliberately chosen to get the wheels are symmetrical, so it's drive side, cranks parallel. The wheels are exactly in the same position front and back. But the one question that I would pose to him is why has he chose to put them on a diagonal like this, and why has he not got them parallel up and down or side to side? So why is that little logo not completely parallel to the earth? So he's made a choice to make it look like this.
Yeah.
And he's made a choice to make it look like it this way.
No, I'm all
I'm
for
not
it.
sure. I'm not sure because would it be up against the banana van, or is that is that the juxtaposition he was going for?
Is it just the universe has just aligned his wheels perfectly for the picture?
There's a lot of thought in that, and I respect it. Just don't lean
Yeah.
it against the van if it's yours.
I think the Tiago Spider saddle needs changing, Ross.
What would
Other
you put
than
on that
It's
finish
bang
it off?
on. I'd have some sort of carbon piece, but I wouldn't know what was even the best thing out there at the moment. Is that pivotal post? Anyway, he's done well with it. Yeah, it's pivotal, isn't it?
Nice
Pivot.
bike. And rental chainring as well, matching the colourway almost. What a bike. Right, thanks to Gildog for sending that
Tell
in
us how
as
you
well.
make your money, Ross.
Yeah, really appreciate people sending those in. So let me stop sharing this screen.
Yeah, wicked bike.
How do I stop doing this? There we are. Gone.
Sean's gone to bed, by the way.
Yeah, I think he's
Don't know where he's gone.
maybe he's on the toilet. Maybe he's gone to fill up his gin. Maybe Kaylee's come back and wondered why he's in the kitchen.
That's a good toilet, guys. Too many gins.
One day we should do one where it's late in the day for me and then I can have a drink.
I was thinking about this. Like,
Yeah,
I'm
we
sat
should.
here with a
It's
gin,
unfair.
and it'd be bad if you was like sat there drinking, and it's like what 8 o'clock in the morning. Well, it's not even that, is it, at the minute? for
No,
you?
it's 5 to 7 now.
Yeah,
5 to
proper
7.
lockdown breakfast.
Yeah, well, it's like it's airport hours, isn't it, for drinking now for me?
Yeah, that's it. You got to have a pint when you get to the airport. Don't matter what time it is.
All right, so we've looked at those bikes. I like looking at them. If anybody wants to send them through, do it. It's really good. It's really good to look at them. It's always nice to pick over them.
Maybe we weren't as harsh last time. We probably should have been a bit harsher on some of the bikes, I think.
I don't think we were that harsh any time.
No.
We haven't been harsh then.
So I'm saying I feel like we should roast it a little bit more.
Yeah, I don't want this to be a mean podcast.
No,
I
we're not.
said a mean thing before we started recording about an entrant in the Supercross race and their never-ending summer of failure that they've been in the game for so long. And I'm not going to name them because I don't want it to be a mean podcast.
No, we'll let people guess.
There is a topic there though that could put it out. Is that I'm going to say this politically correct as possible.
You want me to not?
I wonder what the rationale is on some countries that have, let's face it, a lower than average spend for their national teams seem to be well represented when they can get to a World Cup. Who's funding them?
That's
So
a
when
question
look
we
at it-
often have, isn't it? Is who the
Yeah.
hell is funding these guys?
I think it's the individual. I mean, we talked about the sugar daddies of BMX that are great for the sport, and they really are. They don't take anything away from it. And there's some riders in certain countries that aren't really that good internationally, but they're always there because they've always paid the dollars for, you know, and since 2010, you know, or even before, these people have been rocking up at Supercrosses and just hanging on, and I think they've got the dollar to do it. And I think the countries don't have a deep representation in the sport. So if you've got that dollar and you just want to chase a dream, and you know you've got a rich family, I think there's a few of them in the sport. I don't even think it's a bad thing. It was just a throwaway
It's a wicked
comment.
thing. You know, it doesn't take away from anyone else if they want to attend a race. It's just an interesting thing to see. Well, where's their rationale? Or because we live in a country where there's an incredible cycling pedigree, and you have to be the top of your game to continue to stay on the funded programs. And we could do another podcast on who's, you know, not on the program and whether they should be, and who hasn't, and et cetera, et cetera. What it's I'd just be interested to see behind that curtain, to see where is the funding, who gets it, what's a good result in terms of their elite program. Is it to just make a semi at a World Cup level? Questions that are never going to be answered because it's just like a secret of the sport, isn't it? It's like knowing people's salaries. You're never going to really get the right answers. It's just an interesting one. When a new year comes around and you see the new batch of riders that are coming out, you think, wow, you know, this country's taking 20 riders across the world. They must be spending 100 grand on
You can't
a
imagine
4-week
like
trip.
the Chinese and the Japanese are going, right, we're sending you there to make a final. Like, do you know what I mean? It's never going to happen. Are they happy with like one lap and then they're done? Because that's what it is nowadays, isn't it? They have one lap and they have the last chance qualifier and that's it. Are they happy with that? I don't know. It's a lot of money to spend to go and do 2 laps, isn't it?
Yeah, it definitely is.
Better off entering late for a BC event.
and paying double. What do you think would happen to the sport of BMX if the Chinese cared about it?
That's actually really good.
There's no Chinese entries. They obviously don't do it, don't care particularly.
Is there a Japanese entry, by the way? Because obviously my brother lives in Japan and he's always asking me like, oh, Japan. Like every time I see a track in Japan, China that way, they look horrendous tracks. So I can't imagine they've got tracks that they're going to practice on. Everything looks like it's been just built like at right angles and 45-degree angles. There's no kind of curve to any jump.
Yeah, there's a couple in each class.
Just can't imagine.
There's definitely a couple of Japanese in there. I don't know if it's Asuma Nakai's
Yeah,
on there.
that's what I was thinking. Yoshitoshi was
If,
not a good one, wasn't he?
Sai Hatakeyama's racing still.
On the
Japanese
kind of
are always represented.
Asian, on the kind of Asian topic, Booter, haven't you got something to show the people with Sayers?
Oh, you had a souvenir. You had a souvenir to
Oh, I
bring
was just
up.
going to. It's just like a show and tell, wasn't it? Yeah, I guess it was kind of like my prediction for Sarians, and I was just probably going to show it because it's quite a cool thing that I own. Is one of Sayers' jerseys. Obviously, when she used to be 88, and it's even bloodstained. Actually, that's an interesting little one that it's got stains.
Not your
on the
blood,
front
is
of
it?
And on the sleeves. No, it's not. But Sean got it for me from. No, he didn't. Rich Townsend.
Yeah, I got Rich to get it for me, yeah.
Yeah, Rich, thank you. Obviously gave it to Sayer and asked him to sign it prior to my wedding. So it says, congratulations, Booter and Amy. Sayer Sakakibara at 88. And that was obviously before Kai's crash, because she's now under 77. It's just a cool little jersey. I would like to back Beth to win this weekend, but I think Sayer's going to be hard to beat because obviously she spends a lot of time at Sarians and knows the track very, very well. And even though I watched her vlog last week and she still says she has like mental blocks about the track because it's difficult. She's quite open with how she sort of struggles with certain things. I think she's going to look. I think she's pinging, so I think she's going to be really good this weekend.
For double, do you reckon?
Could be. Although I think if Ross isn't going to win, I want Joris to win.
Joris's helmet, not the little tiny helmet that we've seen. The helmet he puts on his head. That looks good. Have you seen it?
Yeah, I've seen it. Someone sent a picture.
It's gold. It's on BMX Hype Insta. I put it on there just before I came on here. He's got little gold flakes. All the Joris is in gold. Yeah.
Class.
And
Yeah,
he's
nice
someone
helmet.
who can rock that, can't he? He's allowed to do that.
Definitely. He's earned it.
The goat.
Hey, just on mechanics. So, Rich Townsend, Matty Allen, Mechanics to the Stars. Next episode, we should talk about Booter's adventure into international mechanicking at the 2012 Worlds. I'm sure you've got some stories to tell there, because we've all had these little jobs around the fringes of BMX. And I remember that was something that I think Tony the Butcher threw your way, the generator of many opportunities for many people.
That's a good story.
That was a funny old one. Good opportunities, and based on that, in 2012, we could even talk about how a few of us got to work at the Olympic facility under Clark and Kent as a contractor, because that was also a really good one. That was literally the month after. But yeah, the Worlds at 2012 was different. I got to see a little bit behind the curtain, got to see a little bit of the USA setup, stay with the team. It wasn't all sunshine and rainbows, but it was an experience.
Add that one to the Google Doc that I don't look at for next time.
Yeah, let's talk about that. That. And you know, as a little bit of a taster and into not everything being sunshine and rainbows, I remember you telling me a story about the kookiness around tyre pressures and things like that. So I'm sure you've got a few stories to tell when you don't have to name names when we get into it.
Yeah,
Before we wrap up,
there's loads of that.
Booty, you must have put this in the Google Doc. You shared something that Manuel De Vecchi had put on Instagram around
I've got it.
mains
a
to
bit big on the
wins
screen.
ratio. Yeah, that's
It's been
amazing.
blowing up.
Don't want to share.
Yeah, give it a share. See if it comes
I've
out.
tried to put it on. It does look rough and ready, so I haven't prepared it and put it into a slide. But I've just blown it up a little bit, so it's just got the background of my email behind it. But this, it credits Manuel De Vecchi. I'm not sure where he pulls this from, or he just takes it and he updates
I think
his own
he's
spreadsheet.
got a spreadsheet. I think he has, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, that's definitely Excel.
Yeah. But what it is for the audio listeners is he's maintaining a spreadsheet of, and this is for elite men, and it is all of the, I believe this is Supercross and world level mains and wins. Yeah. So at the top you've got Dorday. He's got his points level, which is a third bigger than anyone else's. He's got 16 first places and 60 mains. 60 mains, which is absolutely mental. And all the pros loved this. Andre shared it. Elise shared it. There was a few more comments on there. Everyone else was sharing it. Romain, even LP65 shared it, because you run down it. It's got Dorday, Kimmen. Kimmen's got the most Supercross and World wins with 18, which again is crazy. And Sylvain in third. So Sylvain's got 4 wins and 44 mains. But there's a few little stats that are quite cool to pull out of there. Stromberg's has had 11 wins in only 22 mains, so he's 50% win ratio, which is insane.
Scary.
Yeah, it's insane. Sam is in 5th place, but retired at the age of 24. So there's got to be a shout out there that I'm of the opinion, and I'm of the generation where Sam was the one, and I believe that he probably would be the GOAT if he was still healthy. And then there's other ones like, for example, Liam got 7 wins with 16 mains, so he's right there.
16.
That was his season
Yeah.
that he probably won he won like back-to-back World Cups, didn't he?
13 and 14 seasons he went back to back. So there's and then there's other ones like, for example, like Tori Nyhag, 22 mains, 0 wins. He was like second. Perennially second.
I was about to say that. There's one bit of stat that I would like to see on that is the podiums as well, because I just remember Tory getting second every week.
Yeah.
At some point.
Yeah. He tended to. There was a period where he would make that main and he would be in there, and it would be second, third, or fourth, and The Simone Christensen for women used to get fourth at about a third of the events that she ever entered. It seemed to be a weird stat that she always seemed to be fourth. Well, and obviously had a fair share of podiums as well. But anyway, I love this because I'm a bit of a geek, so just wanted to share that.
There's so many layers. The hit rate,
great bit of info.
the hit rate's good.
Yeah, and there's loads of interesting little. I don't know, maybe the little nuances to the data. Who's still riding? Well, Sylvan's still up there. Nick is now on his bike again, so he's now riding a little bit. There's quite a few that aren't. Romain May's there, obviously. Wallace Ramirez is still riding. Shiraz's still there, maybe not at this level anymore. Kurel, Kai, and that's it out of the list. Who knows what it'll look like in a couple of years.
This was the thing that I was thinking, like you see that Neek's moved up to second. I mean, how long ago did he update this? Because Neek's not raced.
Everyone forgets that Nick got second last year at the Worlds. Like, he's not been out of it for a long time.
Yeah, shit.
He's still... I'd forgotten that he got second because last year was all about Joris.
Yeah, and it was.
Nick's managed to be in nearly every main and podium since he turned elite, and Sylvan as well. That top three there as active riders. I class Nick as an active rider still. They're incredible, the amount of points that they've managed to amass.
A lot of mains for Kai, still young. A lot of mains for him.
I was going to say that, Kai. When you look at Kai, depending on his back, who else is going to rival this? Like, who's next to get those kind of numbers? Josh Jolly? Don't know.
Josh Jolly's doing well, and he's mirroring Willoughby, isn't he? And how Willoughby entered the world. You know, winning mains at 17, 18 years old in elite classes. It's funny. 2025 might be a bit of a year of transition.
Yeah.
You know, I don't see Joris falling off at his age now. 30. What's he going to be? 34, 35? I just, maybe there's a bit of transition. Sylvain still loves to race, which we love. Romain is still up there. I'm naming all the French here, aren't I? I've noticed that. Yeah. I'd like to say that Ross is this generation. And
Kai's
hopefully
called Ross
gets
for
back up to it.
a podium this weekend. Kai said Ross's podium, and Kai and Beth will be both on the podium. That's what Kai's saying.
Well, let's hope so.
Couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
How many mains has Dean made? I can't see because of the mute symbol.
Between 16 and 19.
Yeah, because that's a few mains. Do
you know what? Dean was one of them that would, on his day, could win anything. And I'll have to check. Tavecchi's. I'd love to know his source. Whether it's just something that he just continues. He just fires up the spreadsheet every 3 months.
Dean was one of them riders that would like manhandle his bike around everything with brute force.
Yeah, the guy had like
Super
the biggest
strong
chest in BMX.
Yeah,
he just he built like bodybuilder build, and seemed to just really hold his form really well just because of this like upper body strength. It's good to see, like big Dave Vanderberg.
Mate, I've gone onto the Instagram and you cannot get the thing off.
So it's a screen grab on the Instagram as well.
No, it's just that he's put music over it and the thing doesn't disappear.
Can't you zoom in, Sean? Zoom in the picture.
Shout. Yeah, 21.
21, mate.
21. That's a lot.
Yeah,
that's a lot. That's almost as many as Nihag, actually.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's an hour and 15, and most people have patience for about 30 minutes.
All for that.
Yeah.
Good work.
I'm gonna do everything I can to get this out today so that people can enjoy this on the way to Gosport. If you're enjoying it, send us a message, slide into the DMs. Let's have a follow. Let's have a like. Let's have a 5-star rating. Let's attract some big sponsors so we can do a world tour. We can broadcast from the stands with a Starlink.
Tell all your mates.
Tell everyone.
Yeah. I fancy early retirement, so if anyone wants to come in and just fund us being raving reporters around the world, then we'll take it.
You could. Be strong. Get involved.
Yeah. Yeah, we need a sugar daddy. All right, let's wrap it up.
Cool. Thanks,
See you,
guys.
everyone.
Peace out.